We start with GATE question paper 2011, starting from question number 1 to question number 25. So starting from the first question, capital town of Gandhinagar has been designed by dash. So we have 4 options, and I'll just write the 4 options, and then I'll also write what they have designed respectively. So B.V. Doshi. The question asked basically capital town of Gandhinagar, and this is the architect that has designed it. So B.V. Doshi is the architect behind capital town of Gandhinagar. Now we have Le Corbusier, which was behind Chandigarh. Then we have Norman Foster, who actually designed Masdar city in Abu Dhabi. And last we have H.K. Megra. He has not designed any city, but he has also worked with Le Corbusier, so it is worth mentioning also. Worked with Le Corbusier in the design of Chandigarh and such. Second question is Rajiv Awas Yojana of Ministry of Housing, Government of India addresses housing for what? So it is Rajiv Awas Yojana, which is also known as RAY. So this has been started by Ministry of Housing, Government of India, and this basically addresses housing for slum dwellers. And the year that it was to be started and completed was 2013 to 2022. Now coming to question number 3. The triangular space formed by 2 consecutive arches is what? So for arch question, you also need to know about the diagram basically. So let me just draw that. So this is an typical sketch of an arch, and I will just label this. This is crown. This feature, keystone, these are basically what are arches made of. They are made of these blocks, like for example stone or brick blocks. So what are these blocks called? These are called voussoirs. The outer layer is called extrados, and the inner layer intrados. This is known as spring joint. This is springer. From here to here it's called span. From here it's called rise. Till here only. From here to this part it's called haunch. This is imposed. And these are basically columns. This is the basic sketch of an arch with all these detailed elements. But the question which we are talking about, the question is basically asking the triangular space formed by two consecutive arches. So if you have an arch, so you have an arch like this, you have an arch like this. So the question is asking what is this space called? And this space is called spandrel. Now coming to the fourth question. Rose window is an iconic feature of dash. So here also I'll mention all the four options and their iconic features. So basically the first option is Notre Dame, Paris. This has rose window, which was asked in the question. Notre Dame has been in the news also because it was engulfed by fire, and it is scheduled to be opening, I think, in late 2023 or like in 2024. It will be reconstructed and opened. Then we have Hagia Sophia, which is in Istanbul. This is also a very like interesting building also, because it was first like a church which became into a mosque, and now it's like a museum. So it has lots of different features, but its main feature is that it has a huge dome which is supported on pendentives, and we had studied about pendentives in 2010 question paper also. Pendentives and squinches and arches. So basically you can see how all of these are somewhere related. Third is St. Peter's in Rome. So it is a part of Baroque architecture. So it's a very nice example of Baroque architecture. And so the basic features of Baroque architecture you can see over here also. Then we have Victoria Memorial, which is in Kolkata. And it also has, like I said in 2010 also when we were discussing about Victoria Memorial, it's a museum which has been which was made for Queen Victoria as a tribute to Queen Victoria, and so it has lots of different elements from different various architecture. So basically this forms under colonial architecture, and it has like an amalgamation of various different architecture styles. Question number 5 asks, purity of color is described by what? So for this I will basically explain all the color related elements that we have, so that in one place you can just know about every single thing. So I'll just write the elements and their definition. So first we have hue. So hue basically defines pure color, and by this I mean that it defines it by the color names. So like green, or like this color blue or black. So basically this all comes under hue. And also like red yellow, if you're talking about certain color mixes, is red yellow, blue, green, everything, so that comes under hue. Then we have tint. Tint is basically mixing of original color to white, and when we mix any color to white it will form a lighter than original color, so this will become lighter than original. Then we have shade. Shade is basically mixing of original color to black, and we added white in tint, and in shade we are adding black, and in black what will happen, it will become darker than the original color, so darker than original. Then we have tone. Mixing of original color with any grayscale color. Any shade of grey, one mixed with any color, that will form a tone. We also have saturation. Which basically defines lightness. Like from pure 100% original color to gray, basically, because gray is like your 0%, so this is original color is 100% and gray is your 0%. So this also means that pure color is fully saturated. Then we have chroma. Chroma is basically quality of a color's purity, intensity or saturation. And we also have one last, which is value or lightness. So saturation, I just wrote, it defines lightness, and value, it's sometimes called lightness also. Basically it defines darkness. So this can be a bit confusing. Just make sure you get the terms right. Defines darkness. From 100% illuminated color to 0% illumination. Question number 6 says a slab simply supported on all its edges with the ratio of longer side to shorter side greater or equal to 2 is designed as what? So basically this will deal with your slab questions like one-way slab or two-way slab. So I'm just going to explain what both of these are. Let's see one-way slab. So these are supported by beams on two opposite sides, which means that the slab is, like if this is a slab, it's only supported on two opposite sides by beam. This is a slab and these are the beams. Also, what happens here, longer span by shorter span is greater than equal to 2. So basically, longer span, shorter span, this is the dimensions, talking about dimensions. Now, one-way slab, and also we have two-way slab. Which is slab supported by beams on all four sides. So if this is your slab, you have beam support on all the four sides. And here longer span by shorter span is less than 2. So this question was asking a slab simply supported on all its edges with a ratio of longer side to shorter side greater or equal to 2 is designed as a one-way slab. So now you know this question clearly. Number 7 is question from Greek architecture, which is the columns. Entablature consists of what? So entablature entablature. So basically entablature is present in is the top most part of the columns, Greek columns basically. I'll just draw a small figure. So this is a small diagram. Basically what happens, this part is called cornice. The next part is called frieze. And this part is called architrave. And these three parts together make entablature. I'll explain later also each of the whole Greek column part, but for entablature you have to know this also, and you also have to know all the three elements, because the questions have also come that what is the last part of the entablature, is it cornice, frieze or architrave or some on one more option, so you have to remember this in order also. So next question that we have comes from urban planning area basically. So question number 8 is town planned for motorage. For motorage refers to, I'll just write the answer here. This was the town of Radburn, New Jersey. And this was basically designed by Clarence Stein and Henry Wright. In question number 9, we have the minimum road curb length, minimum road curb length required for parking for 10 cars perpendicular to the road. Perpendicular to the road. So 10 cars. So this is you have a specific formula also when the car is parked 45 degree 45 degree to the road, 10 degrees 30 degrees to the road, and like 90 degrees are perpendicular to the road. But for this question you can just understand that we have all studied that parking, the space that it is required is 2.5 meter into 5 meter. So basically if this is your road, one car space will require, this is 2.5 and this is 5 meter. So you can, like if 10 cars are parked this way, so only this length will be considered. So for 10 cars it will be 10 into 2.5 meter, which will be 25 meter. Now question number 10, which of the following generates heat island? So this is also a very easy question. Heat island is related to urban areas. And what happens in urban areas, basically because urban areas are devoid of or have less greenery or less forest plantations, so all the heat is being absorbed or just kept, not reflected but just kept, and through the buildings, on the to the materials of the buildings, and it creates like higher temperature around these buildings. So if you live in a, wherever you live, if you're going to an area where there is a heavy like a built structure population, you will feel like 3 to 4 degrees of temperature higher, and then as compared as to if you go in the same city to an area which is covered, like if you're traveling on a road covered by trees on both sides, you will definitely feel 3 or 4 degrees cooler at that point. Question number 11 has like 4 diagrams, but I'll just make the answer one. I'll also link the question paper of 2011. If you don't have the hard copy, please get in a soft copy, take a printout and just solve these questions with me, or just solve this in the copy, because when you solve with me you will get to understand it a bit better. So this is the question, and this is basically the most suitable earthquake resistant built plan form. This is also why, because this is a symmetrical plan. So symmetry, when your building has more symmetry, it becomes more earthquake stable, earthquake resistant stable. So question number 12 is, transfer of development right is a tool used for what? We have done this question also in like 2010. So you can see how many questions are similar also. Transfer of development rights, and we have studied that this was related to land. So the options in here were human development, land development, economic development, and infrastructure development. So obviously because it was related to land development, here you have the answer. Question number 13 is related to your ancient form of settlement, Dandaka. So Dandaka was a set form of settlement layout. It was a settlement layout, and we had like a bunch of settlement layouts in the ancient Indian works. So I will list them all in another video. So this just to understand that Dandaka is basically a grid iron settlement, grid iron pattern of settlement. So just know this right now, and in another video I'll list out all the forms of settlements, the ancient forms. It in recent years the question has not really come, but in previous, like in around before I think 2016, it used to come like frequently. Now question number 14 is maximum horizontal angle from the speaker in a seating area of a lecture theater should be what? So if you have read acoustics, you know this question. So I'll just write it: maximum horizontal angle from the speaker. So this is 140 degrees. You can also, if you have read acoustics, you also know that this is also in the shape of how an auditorium hall is created. You have the stage over here, and then you have seating arrangements over here, and this is like 140 degrees. So this question number 15 is asking U value refers to what. So just understand here what U value is, and I will also make a very short like a video about U value, K value, thermal resistance, thermal transmittance values, and you will understand it better. But just for here I'll just write the answer. U value basically refers to the thermal transmittance of the building components. Now 16th question is consistency of cement is measured by what? So let's go. Basically I'll also here do the same thing, mention all the options and their significant use. So Wicket's apparatus is used measures consistency of cement, measures consistency of cement. Then you have pyknometer, which basically it measures the density in reference to a working fluid. Like water or mercury. We also have slump cone. These kind of questions have also come, like what apparatus is used for what, so it helps in knowing it is. Slump cone basically measures the workability of fresh concrete mix. Here basically you put concrete in like a bucket or a cone like structure, and then when you flip it over you just see how much how much concrete settles down, and then you can understand what is the workability. And then we have universal testing machine. This is used on an array of materials, so various kind of different materials are used, and this measures tension and compression. It's, so you can understand universal testing machine because it's used on a variety of materials. Question number 17 states the appropriate material for flooring of an external ramp of a building would be A. Polished granite, B. Wax polished marble, C. Glazed ceramic tile, or D. Rough finished sandstone. So you have to figure out the material for flooring of an external ramp of a building. So you also understand that it's external ramp, so the ramp has to have some sort of friction which cannot be provided by polished granite or wax polished marble or glazed ceramic tile. So there remains only one option, which is rough finished sandstone. Sandstone is also part of sedimentary rock, which we studied in 2020 question paper. Next we have question number 18, which of the following is not a member of the steel truss. So steel truss, please also see the diagram or the sketch of steel truss also. So basically it has gusset plate, it has wall plate, and it has anchor bolts. What it does not have is fish plate, and fish plates are basically used for joining two rails of a railway track. Now question number 19 is identify the odd one among the following: A. Security deposit, B. Professional tax, C. Performance bank guarantee, and D. Earnest money. So basically if you had studied the concept of tender documents and professional architect's fee and everything, so you will know that tender documents, like when you want to fight for a tender, when you want to take up a project, so tender documents will include your security deposit, your earnest money. Basically earnest money is your money that you give first and foremost to the like a tender, before even the tender is open, before it's decided who will get the project, you submit a small amount of money which is known as earnest money. And performance back guarantee, and your architect, like related to his work and everything, his or her work and stuff, architect has professional tax, sorry, professional tax. And this is also like a very detail oriented stuff, when you have to pay at what percentage, you have to pay at what time of the project. Question number 20 asks about your weep holes. So what it is used to describe. So this basically is holes in retaining holes used in retaining wall for draining water. So basically, if this is your retaining wall, this is your earth, and then this is water supposedly. So this is V pole. I'll just label it. This is your water. This is your retaining wall. And these are your B poles. Question number 21 states busway, bus duct and raceway are components of what? A. Security systems, B. Air conditioning systems, C. Electrical systems, or D. Water supply systems. So we know about air conditioning systems that it's basically evaporator, condenser, compressor, things like that. Then water supply systems you also know, like plumbing, reflux valve, and different kinds of taps and stuff. But we have not really heard about these three: busway, bus duct, and raceway as being component of water supply or air conditioning or security system. So this is basically a component of electrical system. So electrical system has busway, bus duct, and raceway. Now your question number 22 is basically the difference between wet bulb temperature and dry bulb temperature is called what? So your wet bulb temperature, which is the temperature which is recorded with the dry air temperature plus the humid, like the moisture content is also recorded in here, minus dry bulb temperature gives you wet bulb depression. Now to question number 23, which states that in India one of the slum improvement initiatives is what? We just in this question paper we had the slum dwellers, like the Rajiv Awas Yojana, which is working from slum dwellers. So this is also one of the questions. So, but this is slum improvement initiatives, that was relocation housing settlement for slum dwellers. The slum improvement initiatives. This has been taken by Valmiki Ambedkar, Malin Basti Awas Yojana. One more option here was, which was Indira Awas Yojana. Indira Awas Yojana, which is now known as Pradhan Mantri Gramin Awas Yojana. And this provides housing for the rural poor. And one more, there's a Yojana which provides housing for urban poor. which was started in 2015, this policy, housing for all by 2022. These years that have been given like by 2022, these are also like they keep changing because uh, like they keep changing with every 5 year plan. Now question number 24. Suspended floors is a structural system used in what? Okay, so I'll just write the options and then I'll just write what are the kinds of basically what are the features or the structural features of the buildings. So first we have Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, in Hong Kong. This was designed by Norman Foster, and if you have seen my video on Pritzker prize winners, so I've put a picture of this building there also, and this has suspended floors where the floors are suspended from great coat hanger trusses. So if you see the picture of the building, it has trusses on the external facade of the building. Now, coming to the rest of the options, Lloyd's Building, London. This has been designed by Richard Rogers, who is also a Pritzker Prize winner. And that's why that video is very important because many of the names that you hear have won Pritzker Awards also. And this building is famously called Inside Out Building. Then we have Jin Mao Building, Shanghai. Which was basically this was made by SOM firm, which is Skidmore, Owing and Medal. This is a very old and very reputed firm, so this is a very famous firm. Then we have Petronas Tower in Kuala Lumpur. And this uses the special feature of this has a 25-meter by 25-meter central core and an outer ring of widely spaced 16 cylindrical super columns. So this is like a few of the things about the building. Next we have question number 25, which is residual method of valuation. Residual method of valuation is used to determine what? So this is used to determine A, public-private partnership deal, B, rent, C, property tax, and D, selling price. So this is used to determine public-private partnership deal. So this is all 1 to 25. The next video will start from 26 to 44 and then 44, then 44 onwards, 45 onwards you have numericals, and then you have general aptitude also. So we'll see you in the next video.